welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about We Are Knitters and knitting for crocheters. So you may have seen my video that I posted last week about knitting for crocheters, how to do the crochet cast on. I did not know how to knit prior to starting on this project, knitting for crocheters. I've learned some tips and tricks along the way that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. But first I wanted to talk a little bit more about We Are Knitters. So this is the We Are Knitters Praline Scarf Kit. Super easy, says it's a beginner level. It comes with everything that you need, including the needles, to make an awesome praline scarf that you see pictured here. We Are Knitters is an awesome company that basically encourages makers to continue making and create sustainable knitwear and crochetwear from their kits, and they give you everything that you need to go ahead and get started and make your project. I have taught myself to knit from this project, and I want to show you guys how far I've come. So we learned the crochet cast on. In this video, in just a few minutes, I'm going to show you how to do the knit stitch, and I'm going to be again using my crochet hook to kind of get my bearings and learn. But I just wanted to show you really quickly that even though I did not know how to knit, I'm just a crocheter, I was able to do this. Look at this, guys. I knitted. So you can see my stitches aren't even. Things aren't perfect. It's much looser here at the bottom, and then it kind of tightens up here as I kind of got the hang of what I was doing. Here's the other side. So the two sides look different. You can see where I, messed up a little bit. My tension was off, but you know what? That is fine. Learning as you go and just practicing is fine. So this is my very first ever knit swatch, working on the praline scarf from We Are Knitters. I love the way that this is working up, and even though it doesn't look perfect, I'm not going to pull it out. I'm not going to undo it and redo it. I'm going to be proud of myself learning. And once I did a few rows with my crochet hook helping me, as I'm going to show you in just a moment, I was able to do most of this with just the needles. So it's really just helping you get over the hump of learning how the yarn needs to work with the needles, and using your crochet hook to help you, since that's what you're used to using, that's what you're used to holding. So I'm kind of taking the training wheels off, doing it in kind of a stepping stone manner. You will get to where you can knit without a crochet hook. This is not meant to only teach you how to use needles and hooks all at once. It's just kind of to help you get from hooks to needles progressively. So you will be able to knit for real after learning the knit stitch in this video, and then the purl stitch in my next video. You will be able to knit for real just with needles. So without further ado, let's learn the knit stitch. Alrighty, so getting started, I have my praline scarf pattern here that came with my kit, and we can see here that I've casted on the 15 stitches that my pattern requires for my crochet cast on video, and now it's asking me to work the sand stitch. So it's saying knit rows 1 through 164 in sand stitch, odd rows, knit, and then even rows we're going to be purling and knitting, but for right now we're just going to worry about the knit stitch for our odd rows. So we're going to go ahead, and since we've cast it on, we're now working row 1, which is an odd row. So this is just going to be knit stitches all the way down. I'm going to be using, once again, my crochet hook, my needles, and I want to show you just how you're going to insert your needle. Now we're going to work with our hook first, but we need to insert our hook or our needle, whichever you're more comfortable with. I'm going to start with my hook. Again, I have a 15mm hook and 15mm needles here, same size. Insert into the first loop, the first stitch, working from front to back and from right to left. So you can see here that we're crossing over, making an X with our hook behind under both loops. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that working yarn and we're going to wrap it around our hook. But we're going to wrap from front to back instead of back to front. This is how we would usually wrap if we were crocheting, back to front. But in knitting, we're not going to go that way. We're going to go the other way, front and around the back, just like so. So we're wrapping in the opposite way as we would with crochet. Knitting is wrapping from front to back, and then we're just going to grab that yarn, again wrap front to back. I know this is a little confusing for us as crocheters doing things backwards. Wrap from front to back, and then we're going to grab that yarn up into the front and then just slip that stitch right off your needle.
So now we have one knit stitch done and it's on our hook. Go ahead and do the same thing in the next stitch. Insert your hook, going behind in an X shape, wrap around the front, pull that stitch up and through, and then slip off. Now go ahead and repeat that. If you need to rewind this and watch it a few times, that's totally fine. Insert your hook, yarn over, and then pull up and through and over. Go ahead and do this all the way down if you can. As you can see, my crochet hook here has the ergonomic handle, and it's going to prevent me from going all the way down this row with the hook. I'm just doing a few stitches to get the hang of things and to really see what's going on and get my muscle memory going. This is going to make it a little bit easier than using the needle because we do have that hook on the end, whereas the needle is just pointed. So starting from the beginning, doing it with a needle. Now that we've gotten the hang of things, we understand how the yarn should work around the tools. Insert your needle from front to back, creating an X behind. Go ahead and wrap your yarn around the front. Now I'm going to hold on to that yarn to move it up and forward. So with my index finger there, I held onto the yarn, moved it up and forward, and then I'm going to slip that stitch off of my left needle. So that is knit 1. Go ahead and repeat that all the way down. Insert your needle, yarn over from front to back, remember. Hold that yarn in place with your index finger instead of, because you don't have your hook at the tip of your tool, you need your index finger to hold on to that yarn, work it up and to the front, and then slip the stitch off of the left needle. Go ahead and repeat this all the way down. Insert, yarn over front to back, move it up and forward, and slip off. And you're going to just keep continuing this. This is the knit stitch. This will always be the same. Anytime you see knit stitch, this is exactly what it's talking about. So go ahead and just practice this all the way down. If you wanted to do a few rows of knit stitches, that's totally fine. Go ahead and practice this as much as you need to get comfortable with the movements and to get used to working with 2 needles in both hands. I know that we as crocheters are used to using one tool in one hand with the yarn in the other. Me holding the yarn in my left hand is technically called continental knitting, but most knitters hold the yarn in their right hand, but because I'm a crocheter and I'm used to holding it in the left, I'm going to be continental knitting probably forever, as that's what I'm used to. So here I've worked up a few of the stitches. We can see how it's looking on both sides and how things are working up. Make sure that your tension is loose, you're not yarning over too tightly and holding things too tensely. Just remember to relax and have fun with this, even though it's something new and different that we're not used to. So go ahead and just continue this all the way down. We can see here how it looks about halfway done. And then this is what you should be looking like at the end of row 1. It's going to look pretty similar to when we first cast on, but on one side you'll see these extra little stitches here, and those are all of our knit stitches. You've done a great job.
Yay, you made the knit stitch. I hope that this tutorial helped you guys learn how to make real knitting stitches even with a crochet hook to help you. You knew how to crochet and now you can learn how to knit really easily with tools that you're already familiar with. Make sure to stay tuned for my next and final part of knitting for crocheters, which will be going over the purl stitch, and I'll be showing you how this looks worked up a little bit. And we'll be going over the final stitch, the purl stitch that you need to make the praline scarf and lots of other knit projects. Make sure to stay tuned for that. Make sure that you click subscribe below to keep up with my channel and get notifications every time that I post a video about knit and crochet. Make sure that you thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment below if you have any questions, suggestions, or comments. I will definitely be checking those and getting back to you as quickly as I can. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Happy knitting!